but also I've been lucky enough to meet many foreign entrepreneurs in Seoul as well. Whenever I speak to these foreign entrepreneurs,
성장하는 이 시대의 리더들과 이제 부동산 시장에 대해서 이야기 나누는 시간 토크 온 투어. 네. 오늘은 이제 특별한 게스트를 모셨는데요. 오늘도 한번 저희가 영어로 이야기를 나눠보도록 하겠습니다. Yes, today this talk on tour is a talk about the growth in the real estate field. So we bring the leaders in the real estate industry. So today we have a special guest from Giant. Giant company provides the AVM, automated valuation model, for single detached house and multi-family house. So I'm very excited to talk about the entrepreneur and real estate market with Raymond Cherry. So please welcome Raymond Cherry. Really appreciate to join our show.
yeah, Jisoo, it's my honor to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me to come on the show today.
So first of all, please would you please briefly introduce yourself and your service, Giant?
Sure. So my name is Raymond Chetty, and I am the co-founder and CEO of Land. We use AI to value and predict future values of both residential and commercial real estate here in South Korea.
This channel, this corner, we talk about the growth. So, what does growth mean to you? I'd like to know the definition of growth to you.
I see. So, growth for me has a few different meanings.
Yeah.
So first, I think about growth as a working professional. How am I growing, or how am I learning important lessons, skills, or know-how through new experiences, new projects, or maybe even new challenges? When I first started Land, I had no idea what a stock incorporated company was, or a 주식 회사. I would always hear the term 주식, but I never really understood what it meant 4.5 years ago. Or I didn't even know how to attract investment. But as of right now, as of today, our company, we've been able to attract almost about a dozen strategic angel investors who have been able to add significant value to what we're working on, either through their expertise or through their personal and professional networks. Second, I think about growth of other people around me, especially my current, former, and prospective team members. Whenever we may recruit a new team member, my co-founder, my technical co-founder, and we always think about how our tasks and how our mandates for that role, how do they actually play into the candidate's long-term career? So, for example, some of our engineers at Land, they were motivated by actually learning or handling a new range of tools. For example, we got into Google for Startups cloud program last year. So we began using Google Cloud Platform for our data pipeline. Other engineers really liked what tech stack we were working with. We're working with the MERN stack right now.
Okay.
Or they just might be super excited to learn about real estate data in Korea. I also think about growth for people even after Land too. So, for example, whenever we have interns who come, we have trainees who come for short periods of time, and when I can see that they go above and beyond of what I think they're capable of doing, I always try to think, how can I help them grow professionally? That's one of the things I always try to pay attention to. I always think, how or who can I connect these young, energetic people to after they're done working with my company, especially when they go above and beyond. I also think about former team members because it's always exciting to keep up with their growth stories, like through platforms on LinkedIn, Instagram, and Facebook. So, for example, one of our former Zyland interns, he shared a really touching message with me about a year ago after his internship, and he said, "Ray, I can't believe Zai is becoming one of the most powerful IT real estate companies. I've read so many good reviews and heard many professionals join the team. I'm very proud that I have worked at Zai. I have a good update also. I recently got my dream job, a data analyst. I want to say thank you for giving me an opportunity at Zyland, and it definitely helped me out for my future career.
Wow.
Once I get many years of experience in the data field, I will apply for Zyland again."
That's great feedback.
Yeah, I was touched when I received
Did
that.
you cry?
I was crying on the inside when I received that message. But also, lastly, I also think about growth of our partners, whether it's through Zyland or myself personally. So whenever someone tries to work with Zyland, I always think outside of the product. How can I help them maybe through my network or my personal experience as well? Yes, Zyland is working for our software, but I also try to take a step further and think, how can I help my partners grow as well, not just through our software?
Okay. Let me summarize. The growth to Raymond is two things. One is professional in the work field, and second is people or network, right?
Right.
Yes. Okay. That's great thought. Yeah. So you came from the overseas, New York, U.S. So why did you start your career in South Korea? Because you can choose many jobs in the U.S. But why you choose South Korea?
So for me, this is personal and professional.
Okay.
So I would say the personal side of this answer is I was adopted from South Korea when I was less than one, and I grew up in Long Island, a suburb of New York City, and I didn't have any Korean friends growing up. But I started meeting Korean friends at college at Buffalo, and that's when I could get excited to rediscover what being Korean actually meant to me. And so that led me to coming back to Korea in 2008 as an exchange student at Korea University. I stayed for one semester, but that semester really opened my eyes to what excitement is here in South Korea. It was during my study abroad semester, I can actually compare city planning in South Korea and city planning that I knew in America. And I was blown away by what I saw here in terms of city planning. I was fascinated by wherever you live in South Korea, you do not need a car to get around. Because for me, when I was a kid, we always had to drive, whether we wanted to meet our friends, go to the movies, go to work, and you always had to rely on someone. But Korea's city planning is so efficient that even in the suburbs, you don't even need a car. So when I experienced that when I lived here, I really wanted to come back, and I really wanted to become a part of that city planning story.
Okay. So the reason why you started business in South Korea is a fascinating city, especially Seoul, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I agree with that. So I believe that you met many global leaders, global entrepreneur people. So what do you think? What they think about the Korean market?
So I've met quite a handful of young professionals that are working in real estate through our ULI Young Leaders Group network
Yeah.
at various regional conferences. And whenever I speak to them, whether it's through email or WhatsApp, I'm always hearing about how vibrant and exciting South Korea's logistics and warehouse markets are, because it's crazy how quickly Korea's e-commerce
Yeah.
and delivery markets have both grown the
Yes,
past
right.
several years. But also, I've been lucky enough to meet many foreign entrepreneurs in Seoul as well. Whenever I speak to these foreign entrepreneurs, they're always excited to be in Korea. They're excited to have been able to start up here, because there's always so much activity. There's always so many events that are taking place. There's always so many programs that the government is hosting. So in addition to young real estate professionals, I've also had the opportunity to meet many young foreign entrepreneurs who have come to Korea to start up. For them, they're really excited about two things. Number one is government regulations have actually become more relaxed over the past few years. So government regulations are leaning in favor of startups. And second, there's so many startup programs that startups can apply for, especially K-Startup Grand Challenge.
So let's talk about the blue side. What was the most challenging moment in preparing or operating Xyland?
I would have to say that there are maybe a couple different challenging moments in preparing our company. As with any other startup, financing is always a blue moment.
Yes, right.
So I would say that for us, whenever we've had to deal with this kind of issue, I've always tried my best to be honest and transparent with whatever situation we're in. And I would always give my opinion about how we can change that situation into a positive one. So if we may be looking to onboard a new potential team member, and our situation may not be great, it would always be a point of mine to make it very clear to whoever that new potential prospective member is, hey, look, this is the current situation, this is what we need to make it better, and we're wondering if you can help us get there. If the new potential team member understands where you're at in your process, it's up to them to see if they want to help you. So as long as you're honest and transparent about that, I don't think you should have any problems.
Yeah. So your solution was the honest and transparent to people. Yeah, that's right. This is our last question. What's your plan for the future of Xyland?
So right now, we're looking to relaunch our first product, which is the residential valuation report that lenders can use for mortgage valuation work. We're looking to put that back out in the next few weeks. After we've finished commercializing this first product, we've heard feedback from several different investors and developers saying that there's too many options for building investment platforms. So if you're looking to buy a building, a small building, in Korean Goma building, there's too many buildings that are listed on these other platforms. How do you cut through the noise and focus on the ones that could really be the diamonds in the rough? So we're looking to launch a small building investment recommendation service for these investment and securities companies who represent maybe individuals who may want to purchase a small building. So that would be our very next step. I would say that our bigger picture, our bigger vision, as I mentioned before, is we hope that the public can take advantage of our AI valuation and our AI forecast data so they can make better investment decisions when and if they buy their own home. So I would say that's the very last step in our product roadmap.
Yeah, okay. That's your last step. Yeah, that's great plan. Yeah. 네. 오늘 이제 함께 해주신 레이 너무 감사드리고 오늘 좋은 얘기 나눠주신 거에 대해서 다시 한번 감사드리고 다음에 또 좋은 기회로 다시 만날 수 있으면 좋겠습니다. 네, 수고 많으셨습니다.
네, 감사합니다.
고맙습니다.